we have couples too. Are they counted as two or one?
That'll just be one membership probably, but
That's good.
yeah. Excellent. It looks like everybody is on and they're all connected. And for some reason, oh, that's just because her connectivity is bad. So Amber S. Hawkins should join us any moment.
What is that? A bathtub you're drinking out of, or what?
Just about, right? They didn't have coffee cups that big, you know, so I couldn't get you one. But...
It's funny, I switched to decaf. Yeah, it doesn't, I certainly don't feel the buzz, but that's probably good.
So maybe that's the change in your tempo I've noticed in the last month or so. Is that the change of tempo I've noticed the last month or so?
No, that's probably aging the tempo. I don't know. No, I still work as much as I can. And I just enjoy, it's not work to me. I haven't worked in 40 or 50 years or whatever. And that's why I feel so spoiled, you know. I think it's the key, like finding what your art is, and then you're not working, you know. And if you can figure out how to get paid for it, that's the key. Sometimes you gotta, you know, do something on the side to keep the life together, but you gotta do that first and then figure out. And then here, boy, being able to give like we are, it's just a wonderful gift. So, and you guys make it happen. Should I start or should we wait a few more minutes? You think, Sabrina?
I think you're good to go. You already have 61 participants. So.
Wow, I probably owe them money. That's why they're here. I always worry if it's creditors that are after me. But thank you for showing up, people. I appreciate. I can't believe what's happening here in this service that we have. I mean, it just started about a year or two ago, and I've been doing this for 50 years or something like that, 40 some. If you've seen me around at all. In many ways, but the last 10 years or so, I've been trying to figure out how to get this information to people again, besides books and expensive stuff and whatever. I started really helping Fortune 500 companies. I had I was a gangster down on K Street in Washington, helping all the fat cats get government money. And I didn't know anything about these programs. I grew up in Wilkesboro, Pennsylvania. It was a little coal mining town, and to me, government was either the Department of Motor Vehicles or the IRS, and that was all the government was, and they were both terrible. So when I came to town here I got an MBA and I had a software company, and that failed, and I was trying to think of another company to do. So I was my MBA is in management information systems, and I was trying to get top management to think about external information, and I was designing by paper, this is back in the 70s, how to monitor your environment, external environment. And I'd set up management information systems for big companies and show them how to get money to do anything. And only because I was in Washington, I didn't know about anything. If you're hungry and want to do something, you find out how to do it. I didn't have background in anything to do with government. I just had background in being hungry and trying to figure things out to get paid, and that's a great motivator. And tell you too, when I got the MBA, then it took me actually two failing businesses to unlearn everything they taught me in MBA. At least back then. I mean, they were teaching you, well, you need money, you go to the bank, and all this kind of stuff. The bank is the last place to go if you need money, if you don't have any. If you have money, fine, the bank will give you money. If you don't, they're the worst place to go. And so I was a consulting service for Fortune 500 companies, so they find out about their competitors or market or anything like that. They'd call me up to say, hey, we want to invest in Maine potatoes. And I would go run around Washington because I lived here. And back then you got information libraries, and the government had the best libraries in town because there was a potato library. There was a potato expert. If you wanted to study potatoes, and I'd get this information, talk to these people, put it all together, and these fat cats I was working with make millions of dollars decisions based on the stuff I was getting for free. It's just because I found the person who was in some cubby hole in some big building or whatever. And then after a couple of years of doing that, I got sick of helping rich people. And I said, God, why doesn't everybody know about this stuff? The power of all this, these resources that are there for the average person. I mean, I just think when I do this work, it's I have Wilkes-Barre in my head. I don't have, New York City or Manhattan or anything. It's the person who lives in Wilkes-Barre has no idea, what's going on and the power of this to change their lives. I mean, we spend more money on in this country for people to improve their lives than any other country in the world that I know. Well, maybe maybe some of the Scandinavian countries, but I don't know for sure. But right now we spend an average of about $27,000 in cash to every household. So every family gets that from the government back, $27,000. I mean, and with the pandemic, that's even almost doubled. But in normal times, that's how much they get. So people don't know. And it's not easy. I mean, I've been studying it 50 years and I'm still confused. It's not easy. And that's why, if you're working with us, that you eventually learn that. What we provide is the easiest way we can for this. And because the government's not easy, nobody in the government knows what the hell is there, So how are people to know outside of the government? But there's skills. It really is all about learning skills, how to live in the information society. And the information society is not the internet. What we had, and that's what I went out of business when the internet came, because nobody bought books anymore, right? They thought they didn't need books because they had the internet. Now, with the internet growing and growing and growing, we have to really get away from the internet to find the good stuff, because the internet has turned into a sales machine. It's just to make money. So the biggest tools in the internet, like Google or whatever, Facebook, I mean, all their mode of operation is to make money. Okay, so that's why they're there. That's what the motive is. So we think that's where all the information is. It is. But because of the robots that can control the information, they're showing you only information that they make money on them. It makes sense. I would if I was an entrepreneur, right? That's what I want to do, is make money for my business. So they spend their, every waking minute and have high-powered people trying to figure out how to get you to spend money on the internet. And the people that are advertising spend 24 hours a day trying to figure out what to say that you will give them money on the internet to solve their problem. And what I've learned in the last 40 years is that alternatives to all the sources that people are saying that they could charge you money for to solve your problem, there are alternatives. And the alternatives are from people who don't take your money. So they're in the government as a community. We have community things. I mean, I'm not downplaying capitalism. I love capitalism because it tells you if you're doing something of value. I would do this for free, but I wouldn't know if it was of value to anybody. So if you're paying me $20, then hey, then it's worth it. It's something of value. If it was free, then it means maybe I just like it. And giving things for free or something is almost, it's not making love to somebody. It's sort of making love to yourself because you think it's so great, everybody should have it. And to me, it's we're here to help other people. So if you give me $20, then I know that, hey, that's worth something. So I could do more of that. If I'm giving it free and trying to shove it down your throat, then I don't really know, and that's what, to me, capitalism is a great way to keep score, because otherwise you're just pleasing yourself because you think everybody should have it. And I think we're here to help other people. We don't know other people. It's so hard to get into somebody's brain to understand what their needs are. And that's why I started with question mark suits. I used to think, boy, the answers are out there. You could go to Google and you could you get a million answers to anything. What's the best investment? Well, you're just going to be over fucking whelmed, with 20 million answers, and people will tell you, will want money to give you the answers then, or to help you get the answer or whatever. And so that's the wrong question to ask you. And so that's why I always thought, the answers are easy. It's the questions. How do you ask the right questions? And now I feel that's why I'm getting into hearts more, is that the questions are even not as important as your heart is in it or not. Because the difference you make in life or in what you want to do in life, I think, comes from your heart, not from the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is important, and thinking about it, your brain is important to make sure you're not going off a cliff. But life is hard. It's hard for all of us. It's not easy. So if your heart is not in it, you're going to run into a roadblock, and you'll say, "Oh shit, I'm going to do this," and you'll keep bouncing around to new thing, until it becomes real easy. And that probably will never happen because life isn't easy. We think it is, and because people tell you it is, especially if they're marketing people like me. Hey, just make one phone call and you get $1,000 from the government. No problem. Yeah, and life is tough, and that's why your heart is the organ that you could keep growing also for the rest of your life. I mean, I'm 79 years old now, so I don't run as fast. I don't think as fast. I don't do anything as fast. But man, I could love harder every day, And that's one muscle that you could use and develop every day. And I think that we need that more and more to succeed almost at anything. That's what makes life happy, and because you're involved in it. If you're doing it just to screw somebody else, which most commercial operations wind up being. I mean, of course, they're not all that way. It doesn't have to be, but you all see it, I'm sure. So that's right. This one, we have everything here that we give you. Will never ask you for money. Okay, so every website we talk about, everything, and I've been collecting these things for. I'm really a directory publisher, and that's what I've done. I've published 100 some books. I've only made money on 10 of them, so that's why I know I'm wrong 90% of the time. We all are. We're all guessing. That's what, to me, the suit is that trying to show people I'm scared as hell and I have no idea what I'm doing in life. And that's what life is about. And we all want the answer. Nobody has the right answer, particularly for us. They may have found it for somebody else or for themselves, and you may be able to gather a little bit of knowledge from it. But we all have to, carve our own way through this stuff. And what bothers me more than anything is that people put roadblocks that I think I need money to do this. And I don't believe that's true. I mean, it would be nice. We would love to, if we had $100,000, that would make things easier, maybe, but it probably wouldn't, tell you the truth, because you have to get into it from the ground up and see. And that's why, to me, I've started, 4 or 5 businesses, whether the first 2 failed. The first 2 failed because I went to MBA school and got somebody else's money and all this kind of stuff. They failed. Then the rest of the businesses I started with no money. You don't need money to start a business, especially now. I mean, there's some businesses, of course, you do, but if you want to feed yourself, you certainly don't. There's too many ways to do that without any money. If you go on the internet, nobody will say that because they have something to sell you and you need money to do it. So everything we do will show you an option to do that. Now, the problem with that is that all these options we're not trained to use these. We're trained to spend money. I mean, you never have a course, in anywhere that I've seen is to use the government, right? You learn the 3 branches of the government or whatever, but nobody teaches you how to use it. If a third of our economy is money given out by the government, nobody's telling you that. Nobody's telling you how to use that money. The government really supports programs so we have a better society. That means so you have an education, you have a job, you have a house, you have a business, and healthcare, legal help, all these kinds of things. These are government and nonprofit organizations that that do this for free. But we don't train that. We're learning how to go. All the courses are from people that are in the business to get money from you on that subject. So there's nobody that telling you about this other stuff that's free. And so you think that that's your option. So it's really, it may take a while for you to get that in your head somehow of that. And actually, the more I see that, the more working with customers, to me, the members are more important than anybody that works here. I mean, now we have a handful of people that help me full-time, part-time, or whatever. We're not a big organization. And me, I've been doing it 50 years, but I see the bigger we get, and we're getting more members all the time. It's the members. It's you that are making this, not us. You are my lifeblood. What I spend every day answering your questions. I will spend most of my day trying to see what your question is and what I could show you that I always already learned what's there. And if I don't, then I go out and research it. That's what grows my brain and keeps growing. I don't want to sit in the beach and or play lousy golf. When I grew up, man, that was it. You retired to go down in Florida and play golf. Man, I like playing golf, but I'm a shitty golfer. Why would I want to do something I'm lousy at for the rest of my life? Man, I found something I could do well and help people. Man, that's what I want to do till my head falls in the soup bowl. Whatever. I mean, this is fun and this is exciting to see happen. But the people, the members, I mean, I see when they help people, when you stay long enough and see the comment, how even a kind word to another member to help. We all struggle in this life. And that's why even the people that help me on the internet, I don't tell them what the answers are because everybody has a different way. All I tell them is be kind and help everybody you possibly can during the day. And kindness is more important. They're not all getting a cookie answer, because we're all different. You're different from anybody else in the club. People that I all work with are different. They have different talents and skills that could help you in different ways. But the most important thing is that we're all growing from it. That's why if you see a member ask something and you know anything about, hey, I tried this. Oh, it was terrible, but I said this. Well, I just was reading a note yesterday from, boy, she must have 4 or 5 paragraphs. How she just got a free training gig. Sounds like about $15,000 or more to get trained in a hot job occupation. No degree. I don't know, 6 months or something like that, and she'll be making eventually like 70, 80, $90,000. Without a college degree. So that's and that's free. How would you know that? They don't advertise because the people that advertise want to make money because they have to give money to Google to do the advertising or whatever it is. And so they got to get it from you. But now these programs and the other thing is that the government doesn't say what it really has. The government has different names for everything. They're trying to set up a program to get you a job, but that doesn't mean anything, and that's why what I think our skill is that we're able to take that and say, hey, it's a big job, but you could train for 6 months for free and get money to live on and start at 50 grand with no college education. Wow. Now that is, it's all marketing, unfortunately. But in our society, that's what it's about. I mean, that's what politicians do. They're trying to get into your head and figure out what they want you to, what you want to hear from them. And I am too, but I have the skills. I'm trying to find out what your needs are. That's why I love answering questions. I could say, oh, free money. Okay, I'm here. Any kind of question you have for free money. Nobody has any kind of question. They have specific things. And so I got to find out what your specific thing, so I can package that and say, hey, okay, here's where you go. And also is that starting to remember that this thing here is becoming more important than the internet. I mean, we all think, and I did too. I mean, I'm a database guy and management information. I was a computer science professor back in the 70s or everything. So I was really hot on databases and all this kind of stuff. But it's so complicated out there, and there's so much marketing. People now are becoming the key to using the information because they know everything, and it changes so quickly. That nobody can keep up on it. Nobody has the right answer. Everybody has a guess. And so that's why, and what you said, the word you use for job is 15 other things that they use, or like even for grant. Well, if you say you want a grant, you're missing 80% of the free money that's in the government. So that's why if you're looking on the internet or whatever, or even talking to people, I want a grant. So you have to within that organization, grant, no, we don't have any, sorry, whatever. But only 80% of the money the government has is, I mean, only 20% is called grants of the free money. So you have 80% of the free money you're missing because you used the wrong term. So that's why it's too complicated out there to even know the right questions. What you have to do is find people that are in business to help you for free. I mean, that's the big thing. And they're starting to call them navigators. You need to find navigators in the country who know this stuff. Like we're a navigator for government grants. So, we just have to get a sense of what you're looking for, and we could point you in the right direction. And the same way in the government, you find people that are navigators, to do this. And then you say, and you don't say, I want a grant, because they'll try to please you and look for a grant and it's not there. And then there's probably 15 other ways you could solve that problem without getting a grant. But you don't know that. So they're trying to make you happy. So the best way to approach any of these things is try to find people that are navigators, try to get on the phone with them and say, I need help. People are worried about calling the government. They're people like you and I or whatever. And these are just folks. If you're trying to pretend you have to know something, then they're not folks anymore, because you're trying to be something you're not. And they're trying to be something they're not because they have to be important or something because you think they're important. No, I mean, it's human nature. It's, artificial intelligence is ruining everything and running everything. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's not that any of this bad, but you have to know when to use it and when not to use it. And it's great for collecting data and whatever, but to find a complicated, bowl of spaghetti like we have, is you have to start finding these navigators and finding, hey, I want to start this business and I need help. Don't say, oh, I need $100,000 because I want to do this and that. And that. No. Because then you've narrowed it down. That what you want may or may not be there in the form that you want it. So you have to be more general in nature. You have to be like what I refer to as a scout. Now in the military and things like that, they had scouts, went out before they made an attack or something. They found out where the enemy is and all this kind of stuff, to know how to attack and what to do and whatever. See, what you're doing by just saying that you want a grant to do something, you haven't done any scouting to see what the hell's there and how to use what's there. See, so what you really have to do is say, okay, I want to do this thing. I want to get a job. I want to get an education. I want to start a business. What do you have to help me? So you start gathering the intelligence of possibilities, because they'll show you things you never even thought of. Hey, all you have to do is get a contract. You don't need $100,000. I can show you how to get a $100,000 contract, and not a grant, to start that business. How would you know? You don't, because somehow in your mind, from your background, it is. That's why we have to remember how stupid we really are. And if you're married to like a woman I have, I get told that every day. So I keep remembering that. She just heard that and scoffed at me. But it's true. It's just too complicated. And particularly if you're older like me, my biggest problem was finding another thing that was successful is I had success. So if you had success something in our society, like 10 years ago, like I did or so, man, you're trying to make it work again. And it took me 10 years to unlearn it. It's like a habit, biting your nails. I mean, it takes 10 years to give that up, or a fast backswing in golf. You just don't, stop doing that because it's too natural. So sometimes success in the past is more of a handicap. Like, so I'd rather hang around a 25-year-old because they have no success. They're just looking forward. And that's what we have to do, is look forward. Hey, what's out there now? What's going on? And how can I use it to propel my life? So that's why what we do is give you sources. Okay, here are the sources, any place you are. And it's not in the federal government, it's usually at the state government or whatever. And it's usually a half a dozen places. And you go through, you get on the phone, talk about that, and that will lead you to something else that's even better than you and I would ever think of. And that's where it comes. It's like being a detective, and the movie shows they're going knocking on the door. Hey, did you see this? Somebody, do this in the street. Looking for a little kernel of knowledge to do something. And that's what you are. And see, the people we give you only get paid. All these people that will tell you, try to use it as navigator, their job is to help you succeed in what you want to do. So everybody on the internet has to get paid to do that. These are people, they help people every day get money for this, that, or the other thing. That's their job. And so that's why the more you could talk to them and see, they could work for you for free for a whole week if they really like you, or just hang up on you right after say hello because you sound mean and they'd rather talk to somebody else. Yeah. And you could go away. You don't affect their income whatsoever. But we're not used to that. We're used to, getting services from people we're paying. So they're kissing our ass a bit because they want to get paid, right? These people, that are going to help you even more than anybody you're going to pay, aren't going to get the same package. You don't have any control of the paycheck, but what you do have control over is you and your personality. So that's the key. You have your personality, and that will make them do it. And then you become human. We want to help humans. It's human to help another human. That's what we're all for. So that's why being a digit, being an email, being a whatever is not human sometimes, or even when you do that, you try to be human. I mean, try to be, whether it's funny or you don't know what you're doing, just be honest, be human, or whatever. It's easier to help if human. If you're trying to pretend you know everything and whatever, it's easy to flunk you. I was a professor of computer science. I remember if I had a kid in the class who was flunking, and the smart kid would come and see me in office hours, and he wouldn't talk about, the computers or the class at all. He would talk about his family and show me pictures of his dog and his mother and all this kind of stuff. And then that kid got smarter somehow. And it was hard to flunk them at the end of the semester. So that's why it's the same way with these people giving you money. You're nice, you're whatever, and, really need it. I mean, it's easier to give you money. They have that power. They have to follow laws and everything, but there's always if, ands, or buts. There's always ways to finagle it. And it's a numbers game. If you think you're just going to call one or two people and get the money, it probably, it may happen. It doesn't happen a lot. Some things are like that. But a lot of things are just going to take work. And most of the good stuff in life will take that. And so let me run down some of the things you should be aware of in the service. Is one, our monthly grant giveaway. Now we just started, we upped it again to $35,000. Members have been so nice and joining and getting value out of what we're doing that we have a, there it is, August summertime grant. That's to do it, up to $35,000. I never believed in my life I'd be giving out $35,000 a month to people for free. And this is, and I feel that from everybody working here, is that it's such a joy to give. But it's hard because it's against our natural instinct sometimes to give all this money. I mean, and we're a small little business. This is big money from us. I mean, these big companies that give $100,000, man, that's pocket change for these people. This is not it. And we've been doing it for a year. This is now our year anniversary of giving out this grant. We gave over $30,000. I mean, $300,000 already doing that. And I hope to do that or even more the next time, this next year. And we're starting now with even more. We started like 20, I think. We got up to 30, and now we're at 35. And that's because of you. And that you make this possible, and you make it possible by helping other people too, not just us. And that's what's so great about this. So we have, the other thing is to make sure that you know about Let's Go Help too. Most people just join and they go on to the Facebook page. And if you're looking at the video here now, that's from Let's Go Help too. This is where we're doing a lot of training, and we're getting a lot of more help on Let's Go Help too. Because it's really less, well, it's not as big. I mean, you have 2 billion people in the world hanging around Facebook. You get all kind of scammers that sneak into our place and they tell you they're me, and they'll help you for $300 or $3,000. You know, no, if you pay us $20, that's all the money you'll ever have to pay us. Yeah. So there's anybody uses my name and says more than $20, that's not me. You know, and you get everything we have, you know, for $20. Yeah, it's a monthly, so a subscription. So that's important. So you have the grant, and you could keep applying to, and it's easy as hell. It's the easiest grant. I call it a gateway grant. You know, if you never got a grant before, this is like, you know, they talk about gateway drugs, you know, like cigarettes is a gateway drug to marijuana, marijuana's a gateway drug to, you know, cocaine or whatever. So this is a gateway grant. It's real easy. You just put one sentence on how you would spend $1,000 and you're in the pot. Yeah. And we choose now, about 60 people will choose this month. And send out checks, and yeah, it's a fun thing. So that's the two things you should do. Make sure you're on both platforms. If you belong to one, you automatically are a member of the other one. You don't have to pay twice. You only pay once, and you get two platforms. The one on Facebook, and Facebook gets a little finicky that trying to make it work and slow, and you know, it's and the people that sneak in. So that's a thing. So you want to go to those, and the personal help. I mean, I'm so shocked. I didn't think I'd be able to do that. Everyone I talked to before I started this business about doing this kind of thing, oh, you have to charge $500 a month, $5,000 a month, particularly for financial kind of stuff. You get away with it. And I used to do that, but I wanted to be the $20 guy. I think we should not be doing this at all. I think the government should be doing it, but I've been waiting for 50 years for them to do it, and they haven't. So I don't have a whole lot of time left. So I got to do this now. I'm not going to wait for them anymore, and do it for $20. And because we're able to share the income with everybody, so it is working, at least the way we keep score. Right? Other people keep score there. We don't need yachts or anything like that, and we're doing. And also, you know, I feel, and this is biased, so you can't trust me saying this part about I know more about this stuff than anybody. I mean, there's probably sections of government money people know more or whatever. And particularly, they say government grants, people know more. But I think for the average person, I know more. I mean, I've written 100 books on the subject. I have 2 New York Times bestsellers. I've had successful infomercials and been on every talk show, Letterman, Larry King, Oprah, dozens of times, sharing this stuff. But now here, this is the best way I'm getting to people. I mean, before I'd be a consultant, charge them $10,000 or $20,000. Now I can do it for $20 and give people personal help. I mean, that is just astounding to me, you know, and books that people would never read anyway. So they don't have to read. You ask me a question, ask us a question. Hey, what do you have? Okay, here are the 10 best places that give money for what you want to do. How are you going to do that? You can never do that in Google. Never. And that's what you have. Every website we give you will never ask you for money. You want to spend money, you go to Google. You don't have to. That's what we are. And that's the members are giving so much information, about who to talk to, what to say. Look at the testimonials. I mean, we have them all. We don't have much on Let's Go Help too, but in the guides on Facebook, we have a whole bunch of testimonials. You'll see how they do it, what they do, and we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them because we have 4. So there's number 3, so we have 2, and that has, I don't know, a couple hundred in there. So there's hundreds of amount there, another couple hundred over there. And I call my county and city and got 2.5 months rent. Yeah, thank you. My friend no longer has to pay for health insurance. Yeah, and getting all this stuff. See, problem, and to me, what's that? You don't know what to ask for, So that's why I just received $2,500 business grant. I forgot I applied for it. And then $4,000 rental assistance. That's just a tip of 136 testimonials right there. There are people writing them. And when you go through the system to see what people are saying and helping each other and everything. So that's it. I mean, it's not I don't want to be like the nuns at the school I went to. They slap your knuckles if you don't do something. Other reports. Now we have what I worked on for many years before I started this was something called the mini grant report, the state mini grant report. This is how I thought the government should at least send out when you pay taxes, that you should get a report of all the programs that are in your state that your tax dollars pay for, but programs for the average citizen, not for some egghead or something that wants to discover helium or all this kind of weird stuff. No, to pay expenses. So we have 500 of these for every state, categorized, by bills and expenses. Another category of entrepreneur or starting a business at home, anything to do with business. Another one on getting a job, education, training. Another section on healthcare, dental care, and even pet care for every state. So we have 50 of those. You could go right there in the file section in the Facebook, and there they are. See that? Okay, there. Click on your state there and drop that down, and you'll see all the sources. We have a new section in there for legal help. We have another section now for seniors and people with disability. We have another section for just for children and the programs if you have a child or whatever, and that's there. So these reports, man, I would charge hundreds for that earlier, but to me, I want to have it cheap as hell for everybody. Should have it. So that's a mini grant. How to download mini grant. Then we have reports. If you want to wallpaper your basement, Sabrina will send you enough reports to wallpaper any basement you have. She's just amazing on this. So there you see. This is so you can wallpaper your cottage, your basement, probably your whole house. And you have 2 platforms to do, that we talk about. And here, like Sabrina has this. There's another one on Thursday night. She has it's people helping each other get the grant. So that's it. I mean, so you have other members telling you, hey, and not just texting, but live talking like this. Here, the basic training. You have the weekly training sessions. That's Thursday night is that 6 or is that your time, Sabrina? Like 8 o'clock.
That's at my time. And actually,
yeah.
It's funny that you talk about wallpapering,
Right.
because we're going to cover the rest of the home purchase series, which is the home repair series this week. So that's what's coming up this Thursday.
Great. Let's see, that's a lot of people need that because they can't buy a new home, so they got to repair the old one, and I get answers, questions for that. See, so that's for $20. This is all. I mean, it's just astounding to me. And the research training. I mean, that's what's to me. You have to learn how to do this. You don't, to me, if you stay a few weeks, months, or whatever, and learn this skill, how you need to, because otherwise we're taught to spend money. So if you learn enough and how to find this stuff without spending money, and how to find these organizations, what do you have to do? And this is what we do. It's research training. So it's and you could use for the rest of your life. Your grandkids need something, how to find it, or how to get money for it. The 7 phone call rule, man, exactly. That's what it is. It's all about people. That's right. This thing is your phone is the best friend you have for getting a grant. But again, we don't teach people that. And the other thing is that I think kindness. I just can't say no. And maybe it doesn't work for other people, and you have to be an asshole sometimes because you're dealing with assholes. But we all have to fight that. But at least inside the membership is kindness. Really, is the most important thing, because then we could all grow better. We could all help each other better and grow as a community better. If we're kind, if we're all fighting or elbowing each other and criticizing or whatever, man, everybody gets that for free at home. You don't have to pay to get that. You know? And it's important. And so whether, you know, it's part of the staff or me or anybody else, I mean, we've never had a problem with it. Once in a while, somebody will mouth off or something, and everybody I don't have to say a word because everybody else gets on them. Yeah. And it's more, we're trying to help each other grow. And to me, what's neat about giving is it feels so good. I mean, that's the secret of giving. Everybody thinks it's we're too selfish to give, but when you start doing it, you see that, boy, the key to life is giving because it feels so good, you know. And so that's, to me, is the key. And we could feel better by helping each other. Yeah. And whether you're getting paid or not, that's why you like what you're doing or helping each other here. You have an idea that you think other people can, you know, learn, and you want to package it or something, let us know. Yeah. How we can help other people. You want to ask, you want to be, you know, helpful on certain kind of questions or something, as long as you're not selling anything related to that kind of thing, because I worry people use this for marketing and eventually going to sell something to people that we just don't want anything to do with that. But, you know, if it's something that, and that's hard to really, you know, decide on, but you want to help people, let's figure out a way to do it. Because that's what, if we have a platform that people need help and you want to give help, then, you know, let's talk and see if that's possible. We have a lot of people, members, just are every day they're adding something, you know, to other people's requests. And so just do it yourself. Don't even have to ask. Just, you know, try to help somebody, because that's what it's all about. And I thought I was going to talk for 10 minutes, Sabrina. I always get like that, don't I? You get me.
We're all just listening and learning.
Give me a microphone. But it feels like I feel this may be my last opportunity, not because I'm old or anything, but I just think it's a wonderful opportunity to try to educate somebody, you know, about what I know. I've been studying for 40 years or more. And why it's an opportunity to me, because I think it's so valuable. I wish I knew this when I lived in Wilkes-Barre. And that's my mission now, is trying to get everybody in Wilkes-Barre to understand this and to try to take advantage of it also. Because it's there, whether you use it or not, you're going to pay for it. We all pay for it. And the fat cats use the hell out of it. That's why I got bored helping fat cats. I was millionaires. I was making them billionaires. That's no fun. You know, more people need it better than they do. They don't need any more help. So, well, thank you so much for putting up with me. And I try not to curse too much. It comes out a lot. And I just thank you for being here and being kind to us too. And it means a lot to us. And, thank you for everything, and give me an opportunity to have something to help somebody else with.